Alright, now how we're going to do this for the rest of the game. The player with the lowest rankings will go last. First place will get the last player. There's and I'm looking for specifically centers where Gore is 16th, and then we have Frank Decker, who's a small forward, who's 10th. So Frank and then Gore. He's 10th in his position, he's 16th in his position. Then we look at Smart, Beal, and Rick. Beal, being a point guard, he is 18th, averaging 15.4. There's Decker, who's averaging maybe Jones. Jones is averaging 8.8. So he's 10th, 15.7. And then Gore is averaging 9.7. So, okay, now Smart, who's averaging, Smart is ranked 10. And he's averaging 22.4. Rick is averaging 17.2, and he is 4th. Yeah, Frank is averaging 15.7 points per game. Very good. Alright, now, first place. They all have only one, but Aram has no one, so Aram gets that. Aram is 5th, so he gets the second best player on the league, and that's Rick. So Rick Tridden is officially his, and then alright, so then we're gonna go into the cycle. Michael will get the 4th, which is the second best player, which is the best player. Or 6th, James, he will get Smart. He'll get Smart. And then keep going. 4th, Michael, he will get Frank. And then Beal is next. Dean. And then Gore is next after Dean. No. Wait, who got first pick last time? Because I'm going to have to... So who gets skimped? Noah gets skipped because he picked first. So instead of Noah getting Randy, I get Randy then. Alright, so that's how it works. Alright. I like doing those, but I can't do that. So I'm gonna have to put the order down how I did it. The James got the first selection. Order to remember. James got the first selection with Smart. The second selection was Rink, and that was given to Aram. The third selection was Frank, and that was given to Michael. The fourth selection was Beal, and that was given to Dean. And the fifth and sixth selection was Ralph. And the sixth one, Ralph, then Noah. Well, it should be Noah, then Ralph. Well, we're going in order. And so that we make this more clear for us, go to the Toronto round 2 game and add these players. So Michael gets Wiggins. Michael gets Andrew. There's also Thomas and Bryce. And there's also for here. Oh, we have to check. What position does Doyle play? Shooting guard. Oh yeah, Ryland's ahead. 1912.1. Yeah, Ryland. Thomas and Bryce wasn't selected by the following people. The 2 people. James and Aram. James Dean. I will go for the next series first. So, Thomas, Ryland, Thomas, and Bryce. Ryland, Thomas, and Bryce. The order: Dean, Aram, and James. Is James picks first, then Dean, then Aram. Or Aram, Dean. In that situation, Thomas, center. Being a center, he is 9th, and he averages 11.7. And then Bryce, he's a small forward. Bryce averages wow, I don't see him. 13.9, and he's ranked 10th. And that means that James gets Bryce. Dean gets Ryland. And Aram gets Thomas. Yeah, we're making it more intense. Alright. The Wizards are playing the Stars. It's 9:30. We'll be done by 10:30. And wow, what a game we got here. Yeah, we're sorry about that. Round 2 of the RBA playoffs. Now, we're sorry if this is a quieter game than usual. We're going to keep the volume at 20, alright? No matter what. Crowd volume only goes up or down. Settings, general, no, not that. Settings, gameplay, and crowd, commentary volume, alright. Alright there.
The Western Conference Semifinals, Game 1. The Stars are coming off a dominating 4-game sweep in Round 1. Will their confidence finally be tested? Tonight, they go up against Los Angeles. The opening game of the conference semifinals. Up next.
A electrifying crowd here tonight. A huge game on the nation's #1 nation. The Los Angeles Wizards, the #1 seed in the Western Conference. One of the best in the West. Against the team that swept Dallas, has not lost a playoff game this season. Let's see who will win tonight.
Look at this game. You're looking at the top 10 players, top 5. They're all starters. Top 10. And no, that's going to be special when that happens. Finally. And there it is. Frank Decker. It's the three-pointer. Right off the iron hitch. Here we go. Jason Smart hitting a three there. Shapiro passes to Gore. There's Robin Shapiro with a three. And you know, this San Antonio team, they may look doubted. They're one of the best. They're going to do it at the highest level, and they're going to do it high. They're going to do it well. They're going to do it at the highest level that they can. They know that. They know that their abilities, they know what they're capable of. They're going to put it to work tonight. They're going to be very, very fearful. And Mac Jack gets the block. And a rebound by Wall, who passes to Smart. And look at that teamwork right there. Already getting huge shots here. Jason Smart. He's going to be a guy that we talk about all night long. Jack missed the three. A rebound by Frank, who blocked by Wall. Oh, this total scores at the end. Gore grabs the board. Gore gives it to Decker. Decker shoots. Fine. No. Beal the rebound. Beal gives it to Jack. Wall. To Beal. Beal to Wall. Yes. And John Wall. Morin, no. And out of bounds. Already starting here tonight as San Antonio, who's not lost the playoff game this season. That could come to an end tonight. Morin grabs the board, puts it in, and end one opportunity.
And Jason Smart is known for his defense. He's always been that Michigan State player that's known for that defense. Well, he had Mac Jack on his team. They never played in college together, but he was on the team. He was on JV.
They used to practice together. And I think Mac Jack did play actually with Wall.
No, actually, completely different years. Wall is 33 years old. Mac Jack's very young compared to Wall. But Wall mentored him.
They wanted to team up, and Mac Jack left Chicago, and they were able to do that. team up. Reminds me of Aldridge when he went to the Spurs. It really does, Mark. That's a good comparison. Mac Jack plays like Aldridge prime time. Wall missed. Bad shot there by John Wall. Wall is a superstar at his highest ranks. There's Beal. Beal ahead to Tridden. Wall for three. Bang! And there you go. More another drive. Oh, he's blocked by Mac Jack. Look at the defense by the Wizards. And now they're pushing the pace. Moving very, very fast. That's what you like to see. Smart shoots. Bangs it home. Jason Smart. And they're on an 8-0 run. Garnett shoots. Bang! And Rick grabs the board. This Wizards team is harder already than this San Antonio team had probably expected. Already, right off the top of the iron. You have to understand, they're not going to slow down and they're not going to stop for anything. And they have those bench players. They have Darren Scott Jr. They have that bench. Wall grabs the board. I'm not saying San Antonio doesn't though. They have Perry Jones. Wall shoots. Bang! John Wall. His mystical night continues. He's got 11. And he's on fire already. First 5 minutes of the game. That's how you work. That's how you roll. You should be rolling like that every night. There's Jones. And when I'm talking about them having pieces, they have pieces. They have their pieces. Oh, look at that. The Wizards, they have a very good backup point guard in Marcus Morris. I don't want you forgetting that guy. Jones, they're going to find a good opportunity, I promise you that. Nice shot. Unable to hit it good. Wall shoots. Unable to. Jones to rebound. Garnett bangs it home. That was my cute little revenge. Fuck you. Smart shoots. Bangs it home. LAW. Timeout San Antonio. And you look at the statistics already here. Wow. 6 for 8 for the 3-point line. That's unbelievable. Have to do? What did Greg Mordovich say? What did he get the report from? Well, he told his team, guys, get back in it. We're in this. We're here. We're here to win. Let's go win. Let's not let them take advantage of us.
Play good basketball, and we can win this game. They're not as hard as you think. We're here for a reason.
Look at Darren Scott Jr. who hits a three. And that's 7 for 9 from the three-point line. And the Wizards are just scoring left and right on the three ball. And this might be a scenario where the Wizards want to sweep. They were unable to sweep for San Diego, so they might want to sweep tonight, or this series. Wall. Uh-oh. Here's Wall. Finds Organs. Darren Scott Jr. He had an earlier three. Wall. No. Great rebound. Well, Grant. Here's a Well Grant. To Johnson Jr. Yes. And they have shooters. They have their guys. They were better than Dallas, though. I want you to remember that. Only Dallas. And Dallas has not done the best in the last decade. A couple of last decades. Overall, I'd say they're one of the worst teams all time. Always losing to either Minnesota or one of these teams. If they even make it, A couple of years ago, Oklahoma City beat San Antonio. Whoa, fuck you. Oklahoma City beat San Antonio 2-1. Or San Antonio 1-1. Oklahoma City 1-2 and they got the best out of that series. Look at that banger right there. And then they went down and didn't even make the playoffs the year before. And Oklahoma City was a 5 seed, San Diego was a 7, and Denver was an 8. That was messed up actually. It was Nevada that was 8. Oklahoma City barely made it the year before. San Antonio was better that year than Oklahoma City. Marcus Morris, who's on the Wizards now, was the star player. And San Antonio lost to San Diego in one-game series where San Diego lost to LAW eventually. They would have met in RBA playoff 5, but they never did. San Antonio then lost to LAW 4-0 last time they played 2016. And LAW went down to getting swept by Minnesota then. Which Minnesota was a very, very tactical team back then. And there you go. It's been like that all night long. Seattle then swept San Antonio 3-0. There's been many years that San Antonio's been swept and defeated. And Dallas defeated LAW at one point. They were very good with Noah Glover and Gio Martin and Carl Walton. Bitter luck. Dallas got swept by Minnesota. That's about it. That's all the information that we have here. Never was able to obtain Carl Walter's foot again. And we also stated that we were going to have the RBA players watch this, but they never do. So, just a brand new 2K league that will get deleted after 2 years. We're going to miss all these statistics and a traveling violation. And remember that before the season ends, we'll be looking back at every single game played and getting those statistics in one big live stream so that we can remember those stats forever. Because the RBA 2K21 is going to get deleted at the end of 2022. Only a year away. Where if we were to have a new season, we would have to start it after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It would be impossible to have the whole entire playoffs be finished in December due to the fact that we've been doing this whole playoff thing since July. We've had some struggles throughout. Gore, bomb. And now San Antonio picking it up. It's only a 5-point game, but LAW has 40 points in one half. San Antonio has 35. I thought the defense was going to get better. But I'm seeing more of the offense. Like both teams are very offensive. Bohr grabs another board. That's very important to what he does overall. He steals the ball. He goes. Slams it home. Bradley Beal. Mark grabs it. Beal. Jack shoots. Bang! 12-point game. And they're only 4 threes away. Beal. Beal again, bang, 15-point game. Once they start to get rolling again, maybe they can catch up with them. Not likely though. Wizards have done a very good job all game long, and they've taken a huge lead now, and nice job. It's about to be a 16-point game. And there you go. Yeah, they're going to crush out. I feel like we'll see a series that isn't even close. It's sad, but it's true. These 4 games will go by, and it'll be over by then. And then we can move on. The Wizards can play either Oklahoma City or Minnesota, which is actually a good series to watch, actually. Yeah, Minnesota lost game 1. Ralph Polino was very upset with that loss. Mac Jack bangs it home. It's a very good shot by Mac Jack, and I really appreciate the way he shot the ball. He's shooting the ball right now. And it was a very good game between Oklahoma City and Minnesota. That's probably a very similar game series. Saunders, nice. And don't tell me that they're not trying. Minnesota lost by 4 to Oklahoma City. That's fine. You bounce back. And it was in Oklahoma City. You're not supposed to win. You're going into another team's crowd and you barely win. You're barely losing. That's a good sign. For Miami, they beat Toronto in Toronto's crowd. That was a huge game. And that's a very disappointing thing for Toronto to have witnessed. Because that's going to decide a lot. Oh my goodness, Mac Jack. That decides if you make next round or not. And Miami crushed Toronto out. Which is another huge sign that Miami is there to win. And Toronto is here to joke around with their MVP, which is Justin Holiday, who has not shown a lot. Yeah, he showed pretty much the same thing he showed the year before. We know Jabari Brown won last season. Or the year before. The year after Holiday, if I'm corrected. Right? We should have our MVP somewhere. Very sad that we don't. We have John Wall 1 year, 2016, and Val won it. Holiday then won, and then it was Brown, and then Val won last year. I think I don't even remember where our reigning MVP was. I'll have to check. Yeah, we could check that. I think it was Connor Val. He won MVP last season. And then the year before that was Holiday, or Brown and then Holiday. So it took a couple years for Holiday to bounce back. But he did. He took his team to the second round versus Baltimore, lost in 4, lost in 6. But yeah, we should have that list down somewhere. Very disappointing that we don't. And if we don't, we should make it up at least. Yeah, Dax won a couple of years, and it's very important to have, honestly. Wall gets the board and puts it in. John Wall. There it is. Garnett missed Wall the rebound. takes a crush out, you know.
Well, you know, this has been a game that's been one-sided, you know. Flathead. Well, we'll call it flathead. And the reason why it's so flat-headed is the Wizards have just like, they've done so much better than any other team in the league. And they beat Baltimore. So the chances of this series, or anything, not going their way are very slim. And the chances of us not seeing a RBA champion in the West is very slim.
Knowing this Wizard team, I'm going to look at Wall and I'm going to say one thing. They're the best team in the league. They're going to win. They have that in them.
You see, oh, here, we do have regular season MVPs. All right, so 1995, John Carsten. 96 and 97 were both JoJo Johnson. That's what I thought. Michael Sly, 98. 99 MVP, Troy Diggins. My bad. 2000 MVP, Carl Walter. Carl Walter won twice in a row. Carter Val in 2002. Michael Sly and LAS champs. MVP then 2004 Kevin Garnett. And then 2005 Owen Christ. Yeah, that's when he was most dominant player in the league. By far. And usually the RBA MVP, most of the time actually, went down to become the RBA Finals MVP. Not all the time, but usually. 2006, it was Andrew Collin Finals MVP, but John Carsten, but Michael Sly won the full thing. Michael Sly is one of the most dominant guards to ever play the game. Just remember that. David West, 2007. Kevin Garnett, 2008, though. When he was on Boston, he did very well. Michael Sly, in 2010. Ryland Freeman did not win, actually. It went down to being JoJo Johnson in his last season in 2011. Then he retired, and then he came back in 2015. James Freeman, Dax Freeman, Robert Jett in 2014. 2015 was Dax. Wow. Yeah, he had a really good career. Dax has had a really great career. Then Connor Val, 3 MVPs in a row. Spring, summer, and fall league.
Don't forget Connor Val, Spring League. And then winter was Wall, but winter Ralph Bolino was summer and fall was summer league. Ralph has one. John Wall won 2 MVPs then, straight, and then it went. No, Val won again, and he conquered himself as the best player of all time, and then he gave Justin Jabari Connor again, and then Justin. Connor Val has 6 MVPs. And the other person to do that is Joe Johnson and Michael Sly, who both have 3. That seems reasonable. That's correct. And this game is over, Marco. Why is this game already over? Because it looks like it's already like complete, like the season's over.
Yeah, no, not the season, but you know.
Overall.
There you go. San Antonio has been beaten up, but they're not out. They fought. They fought hard. And they don't have, LAW does not have to put in their best. They just have to put in a good amount of effort. And the fact that Connor Ball has 6 MVPs does not scare you, right? And the last 10 MVPs. Has 4 of those, the last 10. Yeah, Holiday has 2. Jabari Brown did very good for the last 2 seasons, though. He went to the finals against Baltimore and Boston, and he lost both of those times. And now Oklahoma City took over. Where do you see LAS heading for? Well, they have to make a system change with Derrick Rose. If we're having another season, obviously, they're going to have to make a system change with Derrick Rose. They can't keep Derrick Rose on the roster. Ayton is developing pretty well. Brown was right there at starting spot for MVP, and he was a very good player, but he's got to keep working on himself. At home. Nice shot by Robin Shapiro. And now it's only a 15-point game. It's like that. Well, look at that. Bang. Jeffries. Maybe San Antonio could come back. They just got to keep on fighting, you know. Robin shoots. No. Kerr grabs the board. Ahead to Scott Jr. to Nixon. Nixon holds. 14 seconds to go. Nixon on the drive. Penetrates. Shoots. Bang. And 21-point game. Rain suits.
John Wall has shown the whole crowd, including San Antonio's fans, that there is no chance.
There's no chance. And he submerges game 1 to him's. He's going to submerge game 2 to his. And game 3. And I'm suggesting game 4 as well. And as soon as you know it, it'll be over. The series and the playoffs for San Antonio. Saunders on the drive. Or they don't really care because this game's over. You know, San Antonio has not scored in a very long time. LAW is scoring constantly from the field. Nash. Johnson Jr. Saunders, Garnett. Garnett fading away. No. And Beal grabs the board. Bradley Beal shoots. And bang. It's historical. A historical run. Shoots, bang. Garnett shoots. Kennedy Garnett, the son of Kevin Garnett, Kevin Garnett, by the way, has 2 MVPs. Kennedy Garnett has had a couple good games, but not as good as his father. And Minnesota's Caden Garnett. There's also Katie Garnett. There's also Kevin Garnett Jr. on Boston. He's expanded his family. He's a one-man show, though. And then Thomas Tritton Jr. He had his 3 kids, Nick Tritton Jr., who plays for Seattle. Seattle did not make playoffs. And I'm not looking forward to seeing Dallas back in the playoffs next season either. Maybe even San Antonio not making it because of Nevada. Nevada is very good. They have Manuel Portes, they have Carter Val Jr., they have Riley Bucket, and Tony Portes. They just couldn't get the job done because other teams have much taller guys like Kennedy Garnett shooting the basketball over Riley Bucket, who is the same size as Manuel Portes. And Portes will get there. He won Rookie of the Year. He'll get there. He will get there. I promise you that. Mosey, nice. I promise you he'll get there. But overall, Nick Tritton created a family and then he left. He got stolen. He passed away. And his family continues the love that we have for him, Rick and Thomas. There were many rumors that he never died, but that's wrong. He did pass away, yes. We do miss him very much. And it was a sad ending. They called him unreliable. He was with the program in Seattle for a couple more years. And Seattle did not succeed that much. They only won one ring with Nick, and at least they won, though, you know. They lost to Miami a couple times, and it ended up being Nick retiring. Minnesota did capture one more before Owen and Garnett decided to retire. There was a lot of drama between a lot of these teams, though. As missed shot by Johnson Jr. Abraham Johnson Jr., one of the best at shooting the basketball. And Nick created a family. He has Rick Tridden Jr., who plays on the Washington Presidents. They obviously lost to Miami in 7. That guy's a very good player. And then they have Thomas Tridden Jr., who is the son, the youngest son, actually, of Thomas Tridden. He continued the legacy in Seattle. And those 4 are what it stood at and what it will stand at. Thomas Tridden has not had any kids yet. Rick Tridden is the only one to have kids. He's the only oldest one, too. And him and Thomas are in the same age group. Thomas is married. No kids yet to be reported, though. Or actually, he does have a younger child. Has 1 daughter and 1 son. But I don't think RBA will be around for him, sadly enough. The LAW did a good job. They brought back Oregon. They have Lawrence Phillips as a rookie. Very nice job. He was their rookie, by the way. They brought in a huge amount of stars, and they hammered it down like a next up. Andrew Collin has his son, Andrew Collin Jr. The original Andrew Collin was also stolen. Very sad to see all those guys go. We have a lot of legends, though, still. And we're very happy for the legends that we still have. Especially Carter Val. Posey. Posey. Deal? No. And rebound by Johnson Jr. And Posey. It's a 30-point game, though.
Find the lane. Find the lane. Go soft.
That will do it. LAW destroys San Antonio on opening night for this round 2. A huge defeat. San Antonio may never be able to bounce back again and may never win even one, but that's their first loss of these playoffs. Now it's official. Every team that's still standing has lost a game in the playoffs. We'll be done. Thanks for watching. 30, 35, 37, 38 for Mac Jack fantasy-wise, and 26 points. He carried the team. Very nice job. Beal and 25. Another good player right there. And then you have Wall with 22. That's the big 3 right there. And you really look at that? That's a good team. That's a really, really good team. They're doing a great job at playing basketball the right way. It's a very supportive team. I'm not going to lie to you. Right now, this is a very supportive team. And they're doing stuff that no one can imagine. And it's unbelievable. I honestly think it's untestable. Wall only had 36 fantasy points and only 22 points tonight. He didn't have to do much, you know. And those are the type of nights you want for Wall. If you're Wall, you want to keep yourself away from injury right now. That's the number one thing. You don't want to get injured. It's very important that you don't get injured, especially now. You're in a good spot. You're in a very good spot to winning the championship. Because you're playing Baltimore. You're beating Baltimore. This team is so good. I see them beating Baltimore. What do you want to say about that? Well, we'll see tomorrow with that one. I think Baltimore is a type of team to come in with a little bit more intensity, but they sometimes can struggle. Yeah, they sometimes can let it go a little bit. And with LAW, I don't think that should happen. Because if that happens, to an extent, it could be very bad. It could be very, very bad for this team. For them, overall. Because that's going to make them lose games. And you lose 3, you're out. Or you lose 4, you're out. Basically 3, though. Because technically, unless you're going to 7 games, which is another story. But we would have to see what happens in that situation. But yeah, that's a very good vital factor right there. Marcus Morris averaged more points than other Wizard players. I just want to know that because did we do it wrong? If that's the case. Well, Marcus Morris is a bench player, first of all. I want you to know that, first of all. Second of all, Marcus Morris, he ain't that great, but he does average 14.2. And looking at statistic-wise, that is actually not more than anyone. I'm sorry to tell you. Alright, thank you, actually, for telling me that. Because I wanted to know that, actually. Did we do a wrong mistake? And we didn't. We actually didn't. Because, you know, we're very, very conscious about looking at certain players and certain things. And Lonzo Brown, actually. Our RBA All-Star team for round 1. Our round 1 All-Star team would have been Jabari, Vrac, Lonzo, Andrew, Bogut, and RJ. Tell me how many of those are gone. 3 of those players are gone.
Colin Jr. at the next position. Calvin, he's gone. Denver lost to Minnesota 4-1, by the way. Wall, he's still in this. Simmons, he's still in this. And Walter Jr., who's not there anymore, who got swept. Yeah, very nice to know. He got swept. Then you have Justin, who's behind those two. Then you have Carbide. Lee. Val could play power forward. Jack and Val. Jabari is the only one out of the top 5 to stay. And out of those, Lonzo, Wall, Justin, Carbide, Jack, and Val remain.
You're talking about a lot of those guys are not in the playoffs no more. They ain't averaging those statistics no more. Look at this.
These 4 guys, gone. Does that mean that this statistics is going to go up by first for Sarah? No, it ain't. But no, those stats are gone. Look at that. You know that. Hopefully you know that. Those stats are gone. They're gone. Best player right now in the league at the power forward position is Garnett. The best player in the league at the center position is Sarah Lopez. The best player in the league right now at the small forward position is Lonzo Brown. Then John, and then Colby. These are all 3 really good players, though. Best player at the shooting guard position is Jack and then Gaynor. But by the time we're done with the second round, I'm seeing it being Gaynor. Because Gaynor is going to be here way longer than Jack. Hopefully Gaynor can gain that edge and then get that 3rd place spot. You know, with Jabari, Carl, Justin, Derek, Scott. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. 2 of those guys still up there. Alright, good night RBA basketball. We love you. And remember, tomorrow is a huge game. Because that's the game where the Red Fury and the Supersonics play.
The order goes
Let's see over this one. Let's see over this one. Let's see over this one. Let's see over this one.
Don't quit until it's over. Don't quit until it's over. Don't quit until it's over. Cause I'ma win again. Cause I'ma win again. Cause I'ma win again. Again. Win with some good friends. I hit the station and bought a Benz. I do it, you copy. I know you watching, I know I said all the trends. You got a 10, I stay 10 on 10s. You say I'm not having, please come again. In the back of the Maybach and you're gonna cover in tiger skin. You lucky 40 clover. I'd rather run till it's over. Like a toaster. When I'm need a chauffeur, there's no losing or no ties. Business days wear a tie. Life in that smooth as a sprout. Ain't no dreams for the sky. I'ma win again. I'ma win again. I'ma win again. Again. What else? I'ma win again. I'ma win again. I'ma win again. Again. Don't quit until it's over. Don't quit until it's over. Don't quit until it's over. Cause I'ma win again. Cause I'ma win again. Cause I'ma win again. Again. Respect it.